Look, a lot of things seem to be happening, and so we are always just caught in the crossfire. A lot of bullets here and there. But in the midst of all that mashup, you can always find your purpose. Now, finding your purpose also means that you need to identify what God has made you for. Grace or favor locates everyone if you open your eyes and your heart to God for the opportunities that He has for you to come to pass. I'm saying this because many of my friends all are embroiled in this turmoil of banking and the decisions taken by the Bank of Ghana and all that. They find themselves in hard times, dire straits. You, depending on where you find yourself, could also be located that way. But in the midst of all the doom and the gloom, you need to find your purpose. God has given us the courage to find that purpose. In order for you to do that, remain steadfast. Times are hard. You would always go through difficult times. But I always know that all those challenges are just for a moment. Let's all try and deal with our innate strength, because God has given us enough strength than we think about. As you extend that smile to that person in your home, that child who is having that difficulty going through school, or that spouse who is having that hard time at work, or that marriage issue that is just not resolving, or that colleague at work who needs that strength of yours, or somebody in your community, know that extending a hand to them also means that you're giving life to that purpose. You never know. You will be the light that person needs at the end of that tunnel. So let us all today know that challenges are just for a time, and we all need to find our purpose. Thank you for joining us for today. While others will say we are entering another challenging week, we here on the AM show are saying that we are entering another graceful week, because we know that we will find our purpose. We're going to begin discussions on many other related issues, but particularly on the Bank of Ghana decisions and the revocation of the licenses of some 23 insolvent savings and loans companies and finance house. According to a statement from the Bank of Ghana, the revocation of these licenses of these institutions have become necessary because they are insolvent, even after a reasonable period within which the Bank of Ghana had engaged them in the hope that they would be able to recapitalize by their shareholders to return them to a solvency status. But we also need to ask our own questions. What have been done so far? What needs to be done in the first place? Elliot Amwako is a Deputy Director, Banking Supervision, the department for the Bank of Ghana, and he will be interacting with us. He had a great discussion with Malik Dabo. We'll also hear from Eric Nipa, who has been appointed receiver for the specific institutions in line with Section 1232 of Act 930. And he had a great interaction with my colleague, George Rafi. So today, we're bringing you a convolution of related matters in the finance sector. We also know that there's been a lot of brouhaha in the education sector. Teachers across Ghana had been going through some orientation. They'd completed many of that. But there had been concerns about when that was even started. Many of them had said it was even late in coming. And even when it started, they had concerns about the food packs they were giving for lunch, breakfast, etc. They complained that many of them were demeaning to their state and as human beings. And even after completion, they had difficulties with the allowances that were given them for transport to return back to their bases. But the new curriculum and the training that had been given to them and the concerns that have all been raised so far would want to delve into all that. So we'll speak to the authorities at the Ghana Education Service. We'll speak to the teachers themselves, and also we'll get to know what their insights are. While that was all happening, we also know that the Ghana Grand Tour was also taking place. It ended on Sunday. It was a grand end. And the British High Commissioner rode 1,000 kilometers to raise funds to support the plastic surgery and burns unit of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. We'll bring you a recap of how the tour ended, and then we'll wrap up the show with some great insight into what the sights and sounds were, how Kojo Yankson was also in the thick of affairs, and he gave us insight into how we had various celebrities and people from all walks of life across our country joining in the last journey. John Dumelo, for example, was part.
For health especially, and it gives you the opportunity to tour Ghana as well. So that
Ian, I haven't seen half of Ghana, and he's seen like the whole of Ghana, and I was born here, I live here. It's something I want to do. I want to travel around, see Ghana more, promote, the country. I'm a tourism ambassador, of course, so it's a great thing he's doing. I'm here to support, financially as well. I'm here
And talking about some of the biggest celebrities we have, Yvonne Nelson also added her voice there, but also one of the biggest celebrities we have in Ghana, Kojo Yankson, also saw all the parts we have in Ghana. So we'll have him in the studio. We'll ask him what his experiences were. Of course, we know what he told us by way of his wrap-ups daily on each of those journeys that were undertaken by Ian Walker, the British High Commissioner. But we'll wrap up the show with some great entertainment, and it's always brought to you by Wake Purified Water. Please make sure that for the next 3 hours you're always interacting on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We have a Twitter handle at JoyNews on TV, and you can also watch us live. That is, if you're not in front of the screens, you don't have the decoders, etc., through my Online TV on YouTube. Let's bring to you the latest news headlines we have in the studio. After that, we'll do a recap of the various stories that have been published on the front and back pages, and then bring you sports as well.